You know, it really doesn't matter what they write, as long as you've got a young and beautiful piece of ass.
Hi guys, welcome to this week's Taking It Deep. I had this idea for a show. What if we all had the answers? What could we do then? That's what Taking It Deep is all about. This week on Taking It Deep. When did the year of the woman become fear of the woman? What happened to our humanity? As always, Virg has something to say, and she's back with another Virgism to Hillary Clinton's own words in our Deep of the Week. I'm Shawn Koko. Let's take it deep.
Like her or not, one of the great lessons of that campaign is the continued and accepted role of sexism in American life. It isn't just Hillary Clinton who needs to learn a lesson. It's all the people who crossed the line and all the women and men who let them get away with it.
Women, you have to treat them like
Get a woman in the Oval Office, most powerful person in the world, what's the downside?
You mean besides the PMS and the mood swings?
How many of you voting for Hillary? I do not blame you for wanting a female president. But that's a wicked woman.
She's trying to run away from this tough, kind of bitchy image.
One Republican is mocking the cleavage controversy, calling Hillary, quote, a tempest in a bee cup.
She shouts. There is something unrelaxed.
And when you shriek that way,
Grandma takes the stage and starts screeching.
Hello, New Hampshire! It is so great!
That tone, is it a surprise to you that Bill was running out on her all the time?
The sort of the knock on her has been unfair. She's been attacked and harassed and abused in ways that I believe, honestly, if she were a man, she wouldn't have had to go through so much of this.
Last week, RNC Chairman Reince Priebus criticized Hillary Clinton's performance at a forum hosted by Matt Lauer with this tweet. Hillary Clinton was angry and defensive the entire time. No smile. Who the fuck are you to tell someone to smile? This is just another example of how men feel like they can belittle every woman in the world and order up a smile.
No, there's kind of a double standard, John. You know, I get all this credit for being authentic and start talking about my beau and I get filled up, my son who died. They say, well, he's just a good, decent father, honorable man. If she were to do that, you'd have a chorus of, she's playing the woman card here, she's crying. There's a sector of the electorate and I think that has a tendency, at least in over 30-some years with Hillary, to cause her to close rather than open.
You must be careful about the words you use. Words are things. You must be careful. Careful about calling people out of their names, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance. Don't do that.
bimbo, dog.
Fat pig.
A person who is very flat-chested is very hard to be a 10.
I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers.
Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that?
You know, it really doesn't matter what they write, as long as you've got a young and beautiful piece of ass.
That must be a pretty picture. You dropping to your knees.
There was blood coming out of her eyes. Blood coming out of her... wherever.
People like you using language that's inflammatory, that's not true.
Excuse me, Mr. Speaker.
Donald
you have
Trump
no idea whether it's true or not. What we know is that there are at least...
Neither do you.
That's right, and I'm not taking a position on it,
no,
unlike
yes, you are. When you use the words, you took a position.
So what
I think it's very unfair of you to do that, Megan.
Incorrect.
I think that is exactly the bias people are upset by.
I think that your defensiveness on this may speak volumes, sir.
No, you are fascinated with sex, and you don't care about public policy.
Me?
Now, that's
really?
what I get out of watching you tonight.
You know what, Mr. Speaker, I'm not fascinated by sex, but I am fascinated by the protection of women, and you can take your anger issues and spend some time working on them, Mr. Speaker.
Has the election brought out the worst in us? Why do we talk over each other? When as a society did we stop listening to each other? When did it become more important to get our view and our opinion across, more than hearing the other side? What happened to our humanity?
You just set yourself up for running for elective office again.
Okay, you're wrong, but I don't know, is there a question that I can possibly help you out with?
Anthony, I think there is something wrong with you.
I know you just said that. You just said that. Repeating it doesn't make it any more interesting. Chillax, buddy.
Anthony, I mean it from a psychiatric level.
Dude,
I don't care about your
I don't really need your psychiatric questions.
I don't care about your phony
Do an interview here. Do an interview.
You are being driven by some kind of demons in some strange directions. And
Lawrence, do you want to ask me a question, or do you have me on a harangue with a split screen? This can't be good TV for anybody.
For decades, we've been focused on political correctness. But what matters more is emotional correctness. The tone, the feeling, how we say what we say, the respect and compassion we show one another. And that's why people listen to him. Because you can't get anyone to agree with you if they don't even listen to you first. We spend so much time talking past each other and not enough time talking through our disagreements. And if we can start to find compassion for one another, then we have a shot at building common ground.
You may hear time and time again, crooked Hillary, she's a liar, she can't be trusted. But listen to this speech. The first woman, the first student ever to give a commencement speech when she graduated from Wellesley College. Has her vision of the world changed? I don't think so.
Our leaders have viewed politics as the art of the possible. And the challenge now is to practice politics as the art of making what appears to be impossible possible. The goal of it must be human liberation. That there was a gap between expectation and realities. But it wasn't a discouraging gap, and it didn't turn us, into cynical, bitter old women at the age of 18. It just inspired us to do something about that gap. One of the most tragic things that happened yesterday, a beautiful day, was that I was talking to a woman who said she wouldn't want to be me for anything in the world. She wouldn't want to live today and look ahead to what it is she sees because she's afraid. Fear is always with us, but we just don't have time for it. Not now.
God bless the USA, and God bless Virg. She's back to give us her opinion in Virgism.
I don't think that being attractive makes any difference. It's what is inside a person and the goodness that they want to do. All the other stuff is just facial, makeup, whatever you want to call it. Why should a man be better? That's kind of stupid. We're supposed to all be equal.
Guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to head to the woods. We'll see you next week on Taking It Deep.